Twist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
That's what happens when you start off slow, but hey, you're able to rebound. Alabama gets a massive 34-24 victory on the road in Norman, Oklahoma against the Oklahoma Sooners. Bama down early, 17-0, dug themselves into a massive hole, but they're able to rebound. We are live. This is the Southern Sports Scene. Guys, we're back on YouTube. We're back on both of the X accounts. We're going to break it all down tonight. And let me just tell you, we got a lot of tweets that we got to react to, especially from you damn Notre Dame fans that think you know your shit, that thought that you were going to come in here and pretty much be handed a win. Yeah, you thought, buddy. You thought, didn't you? But once again, guys, thank you guys so much for hopping on in. You are the best. We have a lot to break down tonight. Let me post the call-in link right now. 843-350-2534. 843-350-2534 is the number to call if you guys want to get involved in the show. Josh Campos says, guess this means Kiffin won't go to Bama. Anything is going to happen, man. I mean, I didn't think Kalen DeBoer was ever going to be on the hot seat. I didn't even think that he was going to be even considered for the Bama job. Or what did I say? I didn't think Kalen DeBoer was ever going to be on the hot seat, unlike what Tom Fornelli said. Tom Fornelli's an ass clown, by the way. And it's obvious that this is a brand new era at Bama now. But you can't play like that, especially in the first half of a football game. You can't. You are too talented of a team to be playing like this. And you got a gauntlet next week. And we'll get into that a little bit. We'll kind of get into a little bit of what next week is going to bring for Alabama. We will pretty much, I don't know what to expect with next week at Indiana. We'll see what their offensive line does. They got pushed around in the first half. It's bottom line, man. Every post-game show is brought to you by our good friends at FrostBuddy. Going over to frostbuddy.com, click the link in the description below. Use my promo code SSS15 to get yourself 15% off of your first purchase. Also want to thank our good friends at Chike Nutrition. Go to Chike Nutrition, click the link to get yourself 10% off on the best coffee on the market. 20 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 1 gram of net fat. Campos also says Bernard with a sick catch. Dude, that was probably the best catch that I've seen in the college football playoff in a while, man. I mean, a while. And let me tell you, it was so funny to see this. And I thought that Bama did a really good job in the second half of slowing the tempo of that football game and pretty much forcing Oklahoma to try and shut them down with a balanced attack. Did I think they played great? No, not at all. Not at all. I thought this was a sloppy game in the second half, but Alabama made the majority of their plays through the air. Latsier Brooks, massive game for him. Made some big catches down the stretch. But let's go ahead and let's get into the play-by-play really fast. We'll highlight the key plays, and we'll go over a little bit of what we all saw from this past week or from earlier today. Oklahoma starts off. They have a nice drive. They have to punt the football, though. It looked great, man. I'll be honest. When John Mateer took that tape off, dude, he was slinging the rock around. He dropped his nuts and he let him hang. And he made big plays. I thought he looked really confident ripping the football down the field. He looked like the John Mateer that we saw against Michigan or against or basically earlier in the season. That's exactly what the type of athlete that he is. And he's showing it on full display. It was impressive, to say the least. And got to give it to him, man. They came out guns a-blazing. Defense comes out. They get a 3 and out. They force a bad throw because the pass rush is able to get there. Oklahoma turns back around. 8 plays, 59 yards. Drive right down the field. Big throw over the middle to Carter. I'm trying to think of his last name. To Jermichael Carter, who made some big catches later on in the football game. Goes for 21, and it's a first down. And by the way, Oklahoma was gifted their first 2 possessions with great field position. I mean, really, really damn good field position the first 2 drives of the game. It was impressive that they're given, quite literally given momentum, given the football at a good position, and they did a great job of taking advantage of the great field position that they get. You go to Giovanni Gibson and puts you near the red zone, or it was incomplete. John Mateer would run for 11. Guys, John Mateer started to run the football, and he had a lot of success. You would have an incompletion. You would have a throw to Xavier Robinson that goes for 17. Where did Xavier Robinson go the rest of the game? He has 5 touches on the game, or 4 touches on the game, and he has 21 yards. 17 of which came on that one play. Then John Mateer, with a nice move up the middle, is able to juke out a defender, be patient with the football, work with his pulling blockers, and get into the end zone. It was a great run. Really, really solid run. You force another 3 and out. Oklahoma takes it right back. They get great field position again because Blake Dowd has a bad punt. It's fair caught at the 46-yard line. Jaron Knack goes for 8. Torrey Blaylock goes for 3. You would have a run for 6. Torrey Blaylock would run for 1, but there's an unsportsmanlike conduct on Pierre Lewis. And guys, that unsportsmanlike was that was rough. That was rough. And it would be penalties like that. Eddie Pierre Lewis. And guys, to be honest with you, Eddie knows better. Eddie knows better. I get that he's a redshirt freshman, but you can't have things like that. You can't. That's unacceptable. It's what's going to lose you a football game later on. But it backs you up instead of getting near the red zone and being at 3rd and 3. You have a loss of down, and it's 3rd and 18. you have to settle for an Isaiah Satenga 10-yard play, but thank God for him that he gets you back into scoring position, and you get Tyler Sandell, who gets a field goal. That would be the last of his career, or the last of this season for him. End of the second quarter. Bama has to go 3 and out. Oklahoma takes it right down the field. You would have an incredible throw from John Mateer. And by the way, guys, he was throwing curveballs today. He was sidearming the piss out of a lot of his throws. I don't understand why quarterbacks do that. I get it's probably because you want to get more zip on the football. But, guys, you've got to expand for more than that. You've got to be able to get consistent with throwing the football. You've got to be able to not have to really rely on that sidearm throw. You've got to be able to stand in there in the pocket, and instead of, I know you want to move up, and I know that's what we like to do when we're on the run, but you get a lot more better accuracy when you're throwing it straight. Now, that just might be my defensive line mind moving, and that's just from my point of view. I just don't get the sidearm throw. That's just me. But it's an incredible catch by Deion Burks on the sideline. He'd go right back up the middle to Deion Burks, who makes an 18, who turns it into a 18-yard gain. Now you're back at the 28-yard line. Deion Burks on second and 11 gets 6. Josh Jordan gets 16 and gets you to the Alabama 7 on a short screen. And then Isaiah Satenga with a nice little all hitch action, or not hitch, all slants. Boom, touchdown, 17-0. Momentum is on the side of Oklahoma. All the momentum is on Oklahoma's side with 10:51 left in the second half. You'd have a throw to Ryan. And by the way, guys, this is what it looked like. If you were to tell me that your two top receivers in Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams would go one catch for 5 yards, Jeremy Bernard would have 3 catches for 40 yards, I'd have thought that Oklahoma would have put up 30 on them. They didn't need them. You know what they did? They were balanced. And defensively, Alabama woke up. That was the most important thing coming out of that football game was Alabama going to wake up defensively? Were they going to wake up offensively? They sure did. They sure as hell did. Sorry, I got a yo-yo in my hand. You would have a throw to Latsier Brooks for 5. You'd go right back. Latsier Brooks is wide open. It's a bit underthrown, but he does a good job of adjusting to the football, and he makes the catch and goes for 29. And now, 3rd and 5, instead of that 3rd and 5 throw changed the game. Changed the entirety of that football game. Because if Alabama doesn't convert on that 3rd and 5, Oklahoma's going to get the football right back, up 3 possessions, and they've got an opportunity to build upon more. That can really wear down an offense. You saw what happened with them in the SEC championship. And knowing Kalen DeBoer's teams, they don't like playing from behind, especially not by double digits against an elite defense that Oklahoma has. We all know about it. It's not like we're new to this. Guys, this defense was going to come out and they were going to bust them in the mouth. And you know what they did? They did exactly that in the first 20 minutes of that football game. I don't know what the hell happened in the last 40. But you give up. You have a busted coverage that goes for 29. Josh Cuevas would get involved. How much did you miss Josh Cuevas last 2 weeks ago in the SEC title? Pretty damn bad, didn't you? He was a big factor tonight. He goes for 23 and he gets a first down. Now you're at the Oklahoma. Now you're inside the red zone. Peyton Bowen, hey man, he got pushed around a little bit. I like Peyton Bowen. I thought he had a great season this year. I thought he got pushed around a good bit tonight. Jam Miller would go for 4. Jam Miller wasn't going to play much, and he just wasn't healthy. Wouldn't matter, though. Great route by Latsier Brooks and get you 10. And get you from 10 yards out, 17-7. You're back in the football game. That's the number one thing that you needed to do with the first few plays of the game was get your ass back in the game. And not fall behind like you did. You would force first big throw to Deion Burks. John Mateer would run for 4. Giovanni Gibson for 3. Tried to go to Xavier Robinson, and it's a horrible throw by John Mateer, which we saw a couple of overthrows today, man. Miscommunications that should have been deep, deep completions. And you know what they turn into? They turn into drops or they turn into overthrows. Alabama takes it. Isaiah Horton for 14. Or, excuse me, they get great field position off of the block punt. Tim Keenan gets it. And they're sitting pretty. That right there, the 3rd and 5 throw to Latsier Brooks and the block punt were the momentum shifters that Bama needed to get themselves in the football game. And you knew that Bama was going to take advantage of it. You get inside the red zone, but Marvin Jones Jr. is able to shut him down, puts him back 7 behind the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Horton for 6. And David Stone and company is able to force the incompletion, and they force a field goal from Connor Talty. So now defense gets a little break after the blocked punt, and they're able to force just 3. Pretty good. Okay. What happens next? I got to load up the there we go. By the way, phone lines are open, guys. 843-350-2534, 843-350-2534 if you guys want to get involved in the show. Just saying. And I'm about to post the StreamYard in here. John Mateer would run for 2. He would go to Javonte Carter or to Carter for 22. Massive play. First down, you're at the 49. Justin Jefferson comes in and blows you up. In the very next play, I don't know what happened on this play, whether it was miscommunication or I don't know. But I'm going to pull up the TV copy and see if we get that, man. Because I'll be honest, that was bad. Because there we go. All right. I'm going to show you guys this video, and hope I don't get demonetized, or I hope I don't get popped on YouTube for this. I'm just going to turn off the sound. Okay, I don't know what he's looking at, but he's expecting a hitch. He's expecting that 9's going to turn to the football right at the 50, and Brown's not going to recognize that. That's miscommunication, and because of that, he throws it right to him, and it's an interception. That's miscommunication by quarterback and receiver. He's going on a deep. He's going on a fake. He's going to go he's going to go fake an in route and go back out. And look what happens. When we don't have good communication with our receivers, when we don't remember play calls, this is what happens. We get baited and we throw an easy pick six. And just like that, Bama got right back in the football game. They tied this damn thing up. Oklahoma has to take it in the half. Bama's got all the momentum. You would have a bad initially, Bama was going to get it at their own 25, but Trey Wine doesn't pull up. I know he got pushed in the back, by the way, on that late hit out of bounds, which I thought was kind of crazy. But because he lifted that shoulder up just to follow through with the hit, that's going to get flagged, man. And I know we can pick on the officials a good bit, but that's on Oklahoma, man. Those are penalties that killed them. That's 2 penalties. The first one on the second drive, where you have to settle for 3 instead of potentially getting into the red zone and making it a 14-0 game. Not that it would have mattered. So now Bama gets it at their own 40. First play, Daniel Hill busted open up the middle for 30 because you have a complete bust in the middle of your defense. You can't come up and wrap up, and Daniel Hill takes advantage of you. This play was incredible. The throw from Ty Simpson to Latsier Brooks from 30 yards out. It was a great route by Latsier Brooks. They ran a corner route going up against Peyton Bowen, one of the better DBs on this Oklahoma roster. He got him to open his hips to the inside, and by the time he did that, sold it, boom, got to the corner of the end zone, made a great adjustment to the football. That was a great throw by Ty. Even better adjustment, could have put it a little bit more on the money, but nonetheless, touchdown is a touchdown. Bama's was up now. They get a field goal 2 drives later after forcing a 3 and out, but Oklahoma strikes right back. You would throw to Torrey Blaylock for 5, and you'd have a big throw to Deion Burks that goes for 37. Guys, we've been calling Isaiah Satanga's name majority of the second half of the season. You do remember that they got another elite receiver too in Deion Burks. That's almost as good as Satanga. Satanga is your intermediate threat. Deion Burks is a deep ball threat. Just a reminder. You force a punt, but it's a really well-placed punt by Bama that puts them all the way at the 7-yard line. And Oklahoma doesn't do anything with it. They go 3 and out. Bama basically won the football game on this one. Daniel Hill for 6. Jeremy Bernard on a great throw from Ty. Jeremy Bernard makes a hell of a catch working against the DB. Catches over his head is able to come down with the football, and they do an amazing job of adjusting, and they get the touchdown, or they get it inside the red zone. 1st and goal. 2 plays later, Daniel Hill muscles his way from 6 yards out. Oklahoma would have opportunities. You'd have a 3 and out. You force a 3 and out, though. You burn all 3 of your timeouts. You would get yourself into field goal range. From 36 yards out, it would miss wide right. Now, I know that was controversial, but it was very close. I thought he made it. Did that come back to haunt Oklahoma? You could say yes, but the game was lost by then. After that, you force a 3 and out. You go right down the field. You put yourself back in field position. Try to go from 51, and Sandell just can't get it from there. Just missed it. Tough way for your season to end. Oklahoma dominated the time of possession primarily in the first half. 33 minutes to 26 minutes for Oklahoma. Had 362 yards of offense to Alabama's 260. 2 of 12 on 3rd down for Alabama compared to 7 of 18 for Oklahoma. Both rushing offenses, I thought, had their struggles. Here's the thing, though. Oklahoma had 2 stupid penalties that would hurt their drives. Defensively, when they go down the field and you put them going from the 25 to the 40-yard line, and being unable to finish drives. Alabama's biggest problem in the first game with Oklahoma was their inability to finish in the red zone. They finished tonight. And they created the big play. They created the momentum shift they needed to make so that they could get themselves back in the football game. They took advantage of the turnovers that was gifted to them. You have a blocked punt, and you have a interception return for a touchdown. 10 points off of turnovers. Take advantage of it when you can, man. That's exactly what Alabama was able to do. That's why they're sitting winning the football game. But I will say, you cannot do that next week when you go to Indiana. When you play the Heisman Trophy winner and when you play a defensive line that got after Julian Sayin last week, Julian Sayin's offensive line had been incredible all season. They gave up only 12 sacks all year. They had 5 allowed last week. That defense is incredible. Indiana may have one of the best defenses in college football. You can't play like you did today. If you do, you're going to get burnt. And you're going to lose the game again. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for hopping on in. Make sure you all hit the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notifications so that you are notified every time we go live here on the Southern Sports Scene. We had a great return to YouTube. Thank you guys so much for hopping on in and showing some love, man. We appreciate what you guys do. We appreciate you guys, our X accounts, for always tuning in for us. We always appreciate you guys' support. Y'all have a great rest of the night, guys, and we will see you really soon. Y'all have a good one.